So are you addicted to love? You are, aren't you? And how are you finding it? In all the wrong places? You got to really explore that. There's a deep metaphysical meaning going on here. You know that, what is that old country song, Finding Love in All the Wrong Places? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, think about it. We find it in what? Sex. We find it in drugs. We find it in alcohol. We find it in food. We find it in relationships that we've immersed ourselves in, that we demand the other person to be the way we want them. We do it with shopping, an insatiable need to buy more and more and more stuff, all because we've got this inside desire to understand love. But we've got it wrong. We've had it wrong. Because to understand love means to accept. It means to accept yourself as you are. Because as you are whole and perfect right now. Everything in your life has worked perfectly to bring you where you are now. The question is, you have probably not been thinking clearly, directing your thought toward a specific idea, a specific result. And when you're not directing your thought, average thoughts come in and they take over, and your mental atmosphere becomes immersed in the average thoughts. And when you do that, you have what? An average experience. So what is the average experience? The average experience is 30-some% of the people die of a heart attack. 32% of the people, or 29%, whatever, have cancer and don't recover. Steve Ely, do you believe in the law of averages? Steve Ely's just beat cancer. He doesn't believe in the law of averages. He didn't buy in when the doctor says this is your prognosis. He basically said, no, I will determine my prognosis, because you see, in the idea of averages, there are both sides of the spectrum. Remember that. If the average is 50, there are hundreds and there are zeros. You can choose where you want to be between 0 and 100. And when you choose that and you embody it and you become it, that becomes your experience. You are not destined. There is no longer kismet, meaning it's going to happen to you. So a lot of times when we're looking at this law of karma, and we're in week number 6 of 12 weeks of the 12 laws of karma. And today is the infamous, soon to be up there, yes it is, law number 6, which is the law of connection. We've covered 5 others, and you can go on the website or iTunes and you can listen to the other 5 if you've not listened to them. But this is law number 6. And all it does is it presents a different way of looking at the laws of karma. But law 6 is a law of connection. It is the past, the present, and the future are all connected. They are not separate. Do you see that the past creates a mental atmosphere around you? A mental atmosphere is simply all the thoughts, all the words, all the actions, all the feelings that you ever have had. It forms a matrix. It forms like a picture. And that's where you are. And that picture that you formed creates your present. And if you don't change it in the present, it creates your future just like the past. So a lot of times people come to me and say, Reverend Lee, I'm in the most horrific relationship and I just ended it. But you know what? I found this girl. Oh my God, she's going to be the best thing ever. And I say, wrong. Wrong. Or Reverend Lee, I found this guy. Wrong. Because when you move with your mental atmosphere where you just are getting out of a relationship into a new relationship, what's going with you? Your mental atmosphere from the past. And the mental atmosphere of the past is going to bring back to you the same relationship, just in a different person. I've heard so many times people tell me, I was in an abusive relationship. And then I met this other person, it started out great, then I got into an abusive relationship. Then I met a new person, I got into a new abusive relationship. And I asked the question, what was the common thing in those relationships? It's always you or me. So what is the thing that we have to change? Ourselves. Until we change ourselves, nothing changes. And when we change ourselves, it's the perspective of ourselves. It's this perspective of who we are, what we're worthy of, and what we deserve, what we desire. We have to change that. We have to become willing. So if we're going to heal ourselves from a disease, we don't imagine beating the disease, because then you're at war. You want to imagine yourself in a healthy body. What's it like to live in a healthy body? Not to be cancer-free, but what's it like to be fully, completely healthy? You see, there's a difference there. Do you see the difference? There's a real strong difference there. And it's not about envisioning it in the future, it's envisioning it now. Because what happens is that you find out with most disease results because of stress. Because stress is the basic cause of all disease, and stress breaks down the disease because it breaks down the body's immune system, and then the immune system being brought down, disease can enter into the body because the immune system's not functioning fully. But if the immune system is functioning in a perfect state of pH balance, in homeostasis, no disease can enter the body. So stress is the number one cause. And what is stress the result of? Stress is the result of not living an authentic life. Authentic means knowing who you are. And then knowing who you are and what's important to you, what's unique to you that's important, that you're living and breathing it. Every thought, every word, every action, every feeling is in alignment with that. Yesterday, a young lady that I went to college with was a dear friend in college. Probably if we got together now, we'd be dear friends again. We just see each other on Facebook. Well, she posted a picture of herself from freshman year of college. And all the people go, "Oh, you're so beautiful, you're so beautiful, you're so beautiful." You know, the traditional Facebook stuff. I wrote, "I remember that face. I met you in a panty raid." And that's exactly where I had met her, in a panty raid. And then another woman wrote back, who was a friend of hers, who went to the same Catholic high school, that went to the same university, and she wrote back and she said, "Oh, Lee, you haven't changed." And I wrote back down there, "I've always tried to be my authentic self." And she says, "You're so narcissistic." And I said, "Thank you." You see, because people really want it. They want to tone you down. They want you to be like them. Think about people who are a part of that Catholic school, that Catholic school. What was it? Bishop Foley, I think it was. Bishop Foley in East Detroit, on Shaner and like 8 Mile Avenue, okay? I went to a Catholic school for 8 years. First through 8th grade, I went to Catholic school. So we're there. Oh, I'm gonna buzz in and out of things today, so know you're gonna have spirit just flying at you from many different directions. We're at Aussie Pink Floyd last night. They're doing one of my favorite songs from The Wall. "We don't need no inspiration." You know the song? "We don't need no thought control." And they've got a picture of a teacher with a pointer hitting this figurine's fingers. Well, that was no figurine. That was Sister Marie Constance in 2nd grade. I can't tell you how many times that pointer came down in my fingers. Either that, the ruler, or Stanley Furtek got the eraser on the side of the head. But what was happening there? They were teaching us not to be unique. They were teaching us to be in a mold, so because if we're in the mold, we can be controlled. But you see, when you're controlled and you're living from that, you're not experiencing your authentic self, you're not accepting yourself as you are, you're judging yourself by the values of others, and then you're not happy, and we wonder why we turn to alcohol at 15. Or we start smoking at 18. I did that. I didn't alcohol at 15. No, I waited till 18 for that. You know, I was a late bloomer. I didn't put sex into the equation until about 19. But then I got all the addictions going. Why not? I'm addicted to love. In all the wrong places. And then we start to gradually wake up. We start to wake up and say, wait, this isn't working. And what happened for me was I had a value on being a father greater than a value of these others. So when I became a father at 33, I changed my life. because something in me was greater that wanted to be expressed in a way that could not be expressed with the old habit. Because I knew one thing. I knew that if I became a father, before I became one, I knew that I would have to be different than my mom and dad. I would have to model it differently because I never listened to what my fathers and mothers said. You all know that. You never listened to your parents. Did you ever listen to your parents? No. But you watched what they did. You always watch what your parents do because that really tells you what your parents believe. That tells you what everyone believes by what they do. Someone will say, Reverend Lee, I am the deepest spiritual person you've ever met. I've been practicing it for 30 years. And I ask the question, how often do you meditate? Well, I don't need to meditate. How often do you pray? No, my life is a prayer. I said, well, let me come and worship you because you seem to got this down better than anyone else I know. You think, see, you have to have a practice. You have to have a way of being in it. So the past, present, and the future, they build on each other. So let's go even further with this. The smallest and seemingly least important of things must be done because everything is connected. There's a really great YouTube video that's going viral now about this. I think it's a Marine commander, and he's talking about how demonstrating. He says the first thing he does every morning is he makes his bed. And from his bed, he goes through, and then he goes through the day, and he sees how he's connected everything. But he's got a habit. What are your habits in the morning? I don't make the bed, but what I do is I pull the comforter up to the top. I'm not a bed maker, but I make the bed neat, okay? Then, after I do that, where do I go? I go down and meditate every morning. After I meditate, I go into prayer. After going into prayer, I send out a daily thought. After I send out a daily thought, I come upstairs, spend a couple minutes connecting with my wife. After I connect with my wife, I either go to the gym, in this sort of gym, walk the dog, or walk the dog, go to the gym. Every morning, unless I'm going to the Chamber of Commerce. Chamber of Commerce, I'm doing it because I'm marketing Agape. Radio show on Friday, I'm marketing Agape. I've got my day so that I know that I am focusing in on what's most valuable to me. What's not valuable to me, what I don't like to do, I automate. I make it automated. So people say to me, well, Lee, what do you do with your finances? Well, I automate them. My bills are automatically deducted from my account. My giving is automated. I never focus on what I'm giving. It's just automatically taken out every week. And when I invest, all my investments are automatically taken out of my account so that I'm actually doing what I want to do before I have the money left over to spend on frivolous, meaningless stuff. Because when you really start to concentrate on what are we buying, most of it is unnecessary. The question I want to ask is, if you are truly, say I'm a wealthy person, I want to be wealthy, then the first thing you've got to be doing is you've got to paying yourself first. And you've got to be giving to where you're spiritually fed. And you can't negate one or the other. And you've got to automate those things. And if you can't do it right now because you're in debt, well, then you've got to start doing a little bit of it, get 1% going each way, and then you've got to pay off that debt. But you've got to do the simplest and smallest little thing has to come into place. You have to make a decision. Do I want to be wealthy or do I want to have a Starbucks every day? I'm using that as an example because I know a lot of people like Starbucks. Starbucks are $5 a pop. $5 a pop times 365 days is about $1,800. $1,800 invested every year, accumulating at 9%, which is the average of the S&P 500. If you just simply buy the Vanguard fund, you'll be a multimillionaire when you retire by just giving up Starbucks. The question I ask is, what's your priority? Your priority is Starbucks. It's about getting a buzz. Because think about this. I'm going to really be out there on this whole issue of that. Is that man, humankind, creates addictions to sell products. Is caffeine addictive? I don't have to say any more about that. So I'm really pressing buttons today because I really want you to get clear that you are the controller of your life. It's not that you're a victim. No, you have the choice to do that. Next thing, each step leads to the next step and so on. So many times in our human form, I got to know where the journey is. I got to have my whole plan in place. No, you don't. All you have to do is every day be taking a step in the direction toward where you want to go. What's that next step? Then what's the next step? You see, now I'm not overwhelmed because I'm only taking one step at a time. If I have to worry about what's my 10th step, now I'm overthinking everything. How many people here think too much? Gosh, everybody should have their hands up because we all think too much. All we've got to do is, okay, what feels good as my next step toward what I want? What feels good? What's coming from within me that says this is my next logical step that is really going to take me to my highest expression of who I am? That's what's important. That's the question. What's my next step? No matter how small, if you go to bed every night and you've taken just an itty-bitty step in the direction, oh my God, a year from now your life will be so different. So fantastic because you are controlling it. Here's the key too. No one else can do the work for you. Someone must do the initial work to get the job done. And if it's your life, it's your job to take the initial step. No one else is going to come and save you. Get rid of that old habit. I had to work for years and years and years because I was indoctrinated into the Catholic way that I had to either go to Jesus, I had to go through the priest, the Monsignor, the bishop. I had to do all of that. I had to go to confession. I had to accept the Blessed Eucharist every Sunday. I had to do all this stuff. That's a lot of work. I'd rather just do the work with me. And what I found is when I did the work with me, it worked. Again, it worked. That's why I'm teaching this, because I know it works. You have to teach it and test it for yourself to see how it works for you. Neither the first step nor the last are of greater significance. They are both needed to accomplish the task. So many times I witness people, I've done the first 2 months, Lee, I'm going great. Well, you know what? I can take a step back. And I take a step back, and when I take a step back, I keep taking a step back, and I don't go forward again. See, every step is important. The key thing is your eye on the prize? Or is your eye easily distracted by all the stuff around you? With all the news right now, are you focused on peace? Are you focused on seeing everyone as whole and perfect just as they are? Are you focused on seeing that there's a balance in the universe right now that's bringing to the surface, bringing to the light that which needs to be healed? This is what's happening. It was buried. What's going on, what happened in Virginia was buried in the thing. We thought we were better than that. No, we weren't. We're seeing right now that the hatred, the bigotry, the racism, it's been there. It's always been there. And now what people are doing, they're justifying it. No, no, no. You don't have to look and justify, well, this group or that group. No, know that everyone is an expression of God and believe it and practice it in every aspect of your life. When you become that example, when you become that demonstration, you will do more good than fighting against someone. When you're fighting against someone, all you create is more fight. When you become something, people must become like you because like attracts light. There is no contest between light and darkness. When light comes into the room, darkness disappears. If light's in the room, darkness can't come in the room and take it over. Light always wins. That's what love is. That's acceptance. That's connection. That's the knowing that we're one. See, this connection thing is not just about the past and the present and the future. It's about connecting to that which is greater than us, that we are a part of, that we're expressing ourselves through. And we've got to literally embody that. And it's very difficult to do in our egotistical mind, but we have to do it through our spiritual practice, through our meditation, through our affirmations, through our prayer, through our gratitude. If you do nothing, be grateful for your life. Be grateful for everything in your life, because everything in your life has brought you to the point of awareness where you are today, from which you can step forward and step into a new paradigm, step into a new you. The past, the present, the future, every thought, every word, every action, they're all connected. Not only are they all connected, we're all connected. Think about if we're all connected, and every day you did what we did at the meet and greet this morning, where we stood up and we greeted each other with love. You didn't judge the person. You didn't have a choice. They were throwing their arms around you. You were being hugged whether you wanted or not. And sometimes people say to me at Agape, you hug too much. I just sort of say, well, get over it. It's going to happen because when people truly embody that there's a divine presence within themselves, and in order to embody that, they have to embody that there's a divine presence in the other people that they're around, there's only a natural desire to connect. It's just so natural to connect with each other. You see, this is what it's about. Karma, what you put out, always comes back to you. So I'm going to ask you this. The way the world is today, I'm going to ask you this question to keep at the forefront of your mind for this week. In every situation, ask this question: how can I be a little kinder? Just a little bit. How can I be a little kinder? It could be as simple as pausing before you respond to someone and they haven't yet finished their thought. See how simple that is? But that's an act of kindness that would tell people that they're worthy. That simple act of kindness will demonstrate and change the world. Not only will it change the world, it'll change your world. Because you will have changed, because you have become a kinder person. And isn't kindness about love? Isn't kindness meaning I accept myself, all my flaws and everything, and then I accept you with all your flaws, really no flaws, but what we perceive as flaws. I accept you, and I choose to be kind to you because you deserve to be kind to. And you know what will come back to you? A sense of kindness like you've never felt before. It'll come back to you in droves. So what are you going to do this week? Just be a little kinder. Let's go within and let's pray about that. I want to thank you for joining us today. I'm so grateful that you took your time to watch or listen to this message. If you found this message beneficial, I would ask that you go to our website, agapecsl.com. Once there, click on the donate button and experience the joy of conscious and purposeful giving. Or if you would like, text your gift by simply dialing 972-532-6976. It is through your gifts that we are able to bring this message to you in the world. I would ask that if you like this message, to please subscribe to my YouTube channel under my name, Lee Wolak. Again, I want to thank you for joining me in the Agape community as we learn how to better self-love through conscious living.